Welcome to the Books, Beards, Booze podcast, where we talk books, drink booze, and have beards.
All right. As always, I am Bob of Tales by Bob.
And I'm Derek from Charleston, South Carolina.
Nice.
Literally.
Yeah. For those who missed last week's episode, Derek abandoned us.
In my defense, I'm actually from Charleston. That's where I was born. I had not been there in many years.
West Charleston, born and raised?
No.
Well, we had, luckily we had Brandon available to step in and fill in Derek's large shoes. And he did an admirable job. You should go back and listen to that if you haven't yet. But Derek, quite awesomely, zipped over to World Market and picked us up a couple of Folklore brewing and meadery beers. Folklore is from Dothan. It's out of Dothan. Mm-hmm. And you can get this on draft, I know, at Pies and Pints. Maybe not this particular one, but they do Folklore. Yeah, apologize for opening these on air, but I kind of feel like it adds authenticity if you crack open a beer. Yeah. This is the Wiregrass Wheat.
Ooh, smells good.
Yeah, it smells. It's the stereotypical beer smell to me. Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty mild.
Yeah.
Tastes like a wheat.
Yeah. I wouldn't probably race out to buy a shit ton of these, but this is it's a good little sipping beer.
Yeah. We've got another one for the second half that we'll announce once we get to it. But,
so we'll sip on this over the course of this episode.
Also, Folklore is just a great name.
It is, and I like their logo. It's like an owl.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize. I knew it was like Folklore Brewery. I didn't know about the meadery.
That's because
part of that.
Only recently are they about. I don't know when they updated their website last, but they were saying that they were just getting everything set so that they could open the meadery.
Nice.
So it should have some coming here soon if they hadn't already.
A buddy of mine knows these people, and they started in a storage shed apparently.
Yeah.
So
Anthony has gone out to there apparently.
We should take a field trip there.
That's what I was thinking.
Dothan's not far.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I was thinking. Also because they have a puppy that they let run around and say hello to everyone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sold.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's dive into our news. I'm going to start with my smallest news and work my way up. In beard news, I have two tiny snippets. One, two-time Cy Young winner Corey Kubler has shaved his beard.
There goes his Cy Young.
Well, it seems back in December, his wife bet him he couldn't go a whole season without shaving. Made it this long, and she was like, "Fucking shave that shit." he was apparently like, "Oh, thank God," because he was not going to wimp out, but he was ready.
Didn't like it. Wasn't feeling it.
I actually didn't see a picture of him with the beard. I only saw a picture of him clean shaven, and he pulls it off.
Yeah,
he's got a good chin for it. My second bit of news is. Israel is seeing a resurgence in beards.
Really?
Yeah. It's becoming quite the trend there, and the reason it hasn't been is, one, they have mandatory military service, and you have to be clean-shaven. So basically, till you're like 22, you got to be clean-shaven. And there's always been a strong culture of beards there in like the Orthodox Jewish community,
so
and in the Arabic community.
Yeah.
And it's everyone just is now kind of like, fuck yeah, beards, man. It's not just for religious people or Arabic people. Yeah, beards are for everyone.
I assume they probably shied away from it so that they didn't get confused. Like, just kind of keep it. Like, those people, they have beards. We don't have beards.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, those beards, those are some sexy beards.
Right. So, yeah. So I thought that was neat.
My beard news is... Okay, first of all, I'm sick, if you can't tell. So my news is only pretty half-assed. But I'm going to go into it and pretend like it's more in-depth than it is.
Yeah.
So I read an article called... How to Grow a Beard in 5 Easy Steps, which is very obviously big razor propaganda.
Yeah.
Because there's only one step to growing a beard. Grow the friggin' beard.
Yeah.
How hard is that? And they were telling you all these steps, like you have to look at your face color and the shape of your face and all this stuff so that you know how, and you got to get it a routine. I'm like, or...
They're overcomplicating it to scare people off.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Big razor.
I'm telling you, they feel threatened, and they're right to feel threatened.
They do.
But, yeah, just don't shave, and then you'll end up with a beard. It's pretty simple.
I started since the last episode. I've started a regimen using a beard wash now. Cremo beard wash, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far. I'm going to start experimenting around with different beard washes and shampoos and stuff like that, just to take my beard to the next level. But I'm liking the beard wash so far. In my booze news, there is a company called Endless West, and they are working on creating a fake whiskey, like a science lab created whiskey. The idea being that it'll be more cost effective, more environmentally sustainable, yada yada yada. Kind of like how they're making like vat grown beef, like that. It's the same principle.
So what you're telling me is they're making spiritless spirits?
Well, no, because it's going to have... How they're doing it is, I think they're going to use grain alcohol as part of the base of it, and then they're going to add chemicals to make it whiskey. Well, I say whiskey. It's actually, they're saying it'll be a dark liquor. It could end up being a rum. They're sciencing it up right now.
I feel like you don't appreciate the fact that I use spirits and spirits together as a pun, and you just kind of went past it.
We're talking science, Derek. There's no room for puns in science. Except that there's tons of room for puns in science.
But it would be a soulless whiskey, Bob. It would be soulless.
But they're not the only company doing it. There's others called Lost Spirits, Terra Essentia, and stuff like that. And they're all using different methods. Like some are like... one company is putting liquor in, like whiskey in barrels and hitting them with sound waves, so they absorb into the barrel deeper.
Way to ruin my next.
Well, no, it's apparently it's different than that though. Like it's not really like music. It's designed to cut the aging process down, so it'll still be barrel aged, but at a fraction of the time in theory. So a bunch of stuff going on there. I'm with it. Fine, whatever. We'll see how. If it tastes like shit, then no one's going to drink it. Yeah. If it tastes good, then I'm going to drink. I don't care what it's made from, as long as it tastes good. Like at the end of the day, like I don't care if the rum. I don't care if Richland rum is made from sugar cane or they bought a 50-pound sack of sugar at the grocery store. It tasted good, So, this Folklore, it's good. I don't know what went into it. It's good. If they
literally made it from wiregrass,
if someone came up to me later, like, well, they made that in a science lab, I'd be like, oh, cool. They made a beer that tastes like a beer in a science lab. Awesome, good. Give me some cheap whiskey.
Yeah, make it cheaper.
There's one company out there that what they're trying to do is their goal is to create wines that taste like rare, expensive wines at like half the cost. So, we'll see how it goes.
Speaking of wines, apparently my aunt, who I went on this trip with recently, big fan of wine.
Yeah.
And she comes around a lot and is part of a wine club, multiple wine clubs. So there's a good chance I might just be getting free wine every so often.
Nice.
But yes, so on to my booze news. Okay, first of all, I had to read this because when I looked up whiskey news, the name of the article was Rye the Lightning.
Which is amazing. And if you can't guess what this might concern based off that, then you may be listening to the wrong podcast.
But Rye the Lightning is talking about, what's it called? Blackened, which is Metallica's first whiskey?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that they mentioned that they were coming into whiskey. I didn't know if they had already had one out before this one or not. But,
which, if you don't know, that's also a Metallica song.
Yes. Which I actually did not know.
Yeah.
Because Megadeth's better. But anyways, the most interesting part about that from the whole... It was a fairly short article just talking about more information about when they would be coming out with it, what the label looked like, and look it up so you can see... I can't really do justice to the label. It looks, go figure, black.
Yeah.
And it looks pretty slick.
Oh, and they're also going to have a full line of merchandise to go with it, like tons of shirts and stuff like that.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I might try it.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely try it.
But, apparently, as mentioned in Bob's part of the thing, they're blaring a certain playlist of their music into the barrels.
Yeah, which apparently you can find the playlist on Spotify.
Yep, what they've made the Spotify list using using sonic enhancement systems to agitate the liquid and make it seep deeper into the wood to pull out more of the flavors of the charred barrels.
Nice. I want to look at this playlist to know what era Metallica, or they go across the full.
Do we start like full on thrash, or we just start?
Or is it like, I mean, if is Anathema Death magnetic tunes, or is it chock full of Saint Anger?
Because look, man,
I feel like that's going to change the flavor profile.
I think how screwy would it be if it did?
Oh man,
it would be trippy. But anyways, so I thought that was pretty cool. And again, Ride the Lightning. So,
right, awesome pun.
Come on.
Book news, tiny little book news. What's today's date? The 29th?
29th.
Yeah. Guess what came out yesterday?
Oh, I'm well aware. I'm already about 5 hours into it.
Bloody Rose by Nicholas Eames. Go get it. My bigger news, though. I don't like this news. Tor has issued... And, here's the thing. I love Tor. Tor has an amazing website. They do tons of stuff I really like. Mm-hmm. I don't like this. They have issued a 4-month embargo on ebooks to libraries. All right, they think, so they're owned by Macmillan, so I'm kind of going to use Macmillan and Tor interchangeably. They think that lending ebooks is hurting their sales and are using this as a test to see to what degree. Mm-hmm. They're calling it an open-ended test period, but it's definitely going to be for at least 4 months. Will it go longer? Who knows? So obviously, it's going to start with the July releases, so nothing from July. The print books will still be available, just no ebooks.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, the American Library Association has come out against this move. Here's a quote. "This move or action that Tor took impacts some of our most avid readers, and those are the science fiction fans. As a science fiction fan myself, I attend book clubs. There's a science fiction book club where I live. I can say that I don't know why the move is coming from Tor. But what can I say? But what I can say is that it impacts some of our most avid readers, a group that's rapidly increasing." And that's a quote from American Library Association President Lolda Garcia-Febo. When they came out with this news, they mentioned that they were also doing this research study called the Panorama Project, which they've been doing this for a little while. And it's a project that's designed to study the long-term effects of libraries on things like author recognition, branding, and book sales. But this ban is unrelated to that. It's not clear if that's going to fuck with the results of the Panorama Project. Anyway, so while the ALA is hard against this Tor embargo, they actually are really all about the Panorama Project. It's a collaborative effort between libraries, book publishers, and other groups to study the relationship between libraries and publishers. But Febo is confident that the project will show, as other studies have shown, that libraries help book and ebook sales. And this kind of piggybacks off when I did that bit of news about the pirate website.
Yeah.
It's first off, the people who are getting ebooks from libraries, they're not the people that are buying your books.
Yeah.
They're not. Or if they are, they're going to buy the book. They're going to listen to it, going to listen to the ebook of it, or read the ebook of it, and then they'll probably go out and support the author at a later date. This, to me, I am wholeheartedly against this. If you're trying to fight piracy, this is the exact wrong move.
I just if they're whatever. I don't understand. If they want to do it to try and find this out, fine, as long as they don't keep doing it, because I don't think it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna have much effect.
Well, no one knows their criteria. I mean, it's just okay, yeah, we're doing 4 months of no book sales or no ebook lending. Figure it out, and we'll just see how it goes. Who? God, it just. What's their rationale? What's their basis for? I don't know. Just
I assume there's something there. Otherwise, they have some. I assume they have some type of theory or data that suggests this might be an issue, and they're testing it to find out.
Maybe,
but
my bigger issue is you're already doing a study to test this. Why don't you just let the study run and get your results back? The study that everyone's on board with. How about you let that run before you just go off half-cocked and be like, well, fuck it, we're just going to quit giving out ebooks. I mean, libraries are still paying for this stuff, is my understanding. It's not like they're just, like, giving the ebooks to these libraries.
Yeah.
Like, libraries are having to pay for this. I don't know.
That's the kind of stuff that there's a lot involved that I don't understand. I don't really think it's the best idea, but if that's what they want to do, they might just end up kind of kneecapping themselves for a couple of months and be like, okay, well, that wasn't the best idea, and then just move back on to what they were doing.
If nothing else, it's just kind of a shit PR move. You know, like,
well, isn't it just
everyone likes libraries? Like, I've never heard, like, either people don't use them or they're very. I've never heard someone be like, you know what, fuck libraries. And typically, like a month or two ago, this guy came out and basically did a op-ed for like Forbes, I think it was. It was like, close down all libraries and replace them with like Amazon stores. And people flipped their fucking shit. Because people get defensive about libraries. Don't fuck with libraries. It never makes you look good. Like saying like, well, fuck that, just fuck libraries. We're not giving shit to libraries. It's not a good look.
Well, isn't it that they're saying that they're not going to let them get new releases?
They're not, no ebooks. No, they still get the print books, but no ebook.
But the ones that they've already bought, they can keep lending out, right?
Yeah, it's an embargo on new releases.
Yeah, see, I think that's not too long. I don't know how many books come out each month.
Well, and here's the other thing. Like, if they wanted to institute a delay, like a 6-month delay, like, okay, we're going to come out with a book, and
you can't
you have to wait, like libraries have to wait 6 months. Fine, yeah, okay, I'm for that. Sure.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you're getting to read the book functionally for free by having a library card.
Yeah.
Then, okay, fine, yeah. You have to wait 6 months? Cool. You don't want to wait 6 months? Go buy the fucking book.
Yeah. I don't know. That's interesting.
Yeah. But who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
My book news, I kind of cheated, but it's tangentially book news.
Yeah.
It's also tangentially booze news.
I like it.
So there we go.
That's kind of our wheelhouse.
Drinks conglomerate Diageo is partnering with HBO in preparation for season 8 of Game of Thrones to release 8 single malt whiskeys that are paired with they're paired with houses Greyjoy, Tyrell, Lannister, Tully, Targaryen, Stark, Baratheon, and one for the Night's Watch.
You know why they're making it a whiskey?
Why, Bob?
Well, they were going to make it a beer, but it didn't have a head.
Anyways, so they're taking a lot of their product and just like rebranding it with cool house banner.
I was about to say, like, how do you come up with 8 new whiskeys on this short, but it's already existing whiskeys, just kind of repackaged.
It's repackaged. But they also might do some finagling with it. I don't know exactly the process. They haven't announced the full process.
They have time because you can basically, if they're already ready whiskey, like for example, Lannisters, they could take these already finished whiskeys and go chunk them in a brandy barrel for 6 months to alter the flavor profile.
There's 2 examples that I wrote down. They had the kind of the basics for all of them, but I wasn't going to write all of them down.
Yeah. What houses did you pick?
Lannister and Greyjoy. The examples of the pairings are Lagavulin 9-year for House Lannister, and
isn't that a Scotch?
Yeah, they're all Scotches.
Oh, they're all Scotches. Yeah. Oh, well, fuck me.
And Talisker Select Reserve for Greyjoys, which was interesting.
They're all filmed in Ireland. They should use Irish whiskies.
Well,
not all of them, but they're largely filmed in Ireland.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But
because mainly I say that because I don't like Scotch.
Well, I need to try more Scotch. The Monkey Shoulder. Once I added water, it was better after I added the water. But anyways, interesting because I don't know the flavor profile of Lagavulin, but I just recently watched a Talisker review, and it's basically made by the seaside and has like strong hints of like brine and salt.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense for the Greyjoys.
Yeah.
Being all watery and stuff like that. I thought it was super cool. And also, in addition, they're going to be releasing a White Walker edition Johnny Walker.
Nice.
And
nice.
It specifically says to put it in the freezer and find a hidden surprise on the label. So I assume something's going to pop up on the label.
Nice.
And it also says on the bottle that it was brewed or that it was distilled north of the wall.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
I thought that was super cool.
Yeah.
It was a short little read. It had like the art,
yeah.
If you search for it, you can probably find the article pretty quick and look at the each individual house's what type of alcohol it is, but it doesn't have the full.
Right.
Like it has the alcohol content and stuff like that.
Got the gist.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to buy some of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll have to get a Stark. So you mentioned By the Sea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good segue into. How about we get this harmonica playing?
Yeah, dog.
All right, and we're back. So, coming back from break, Derek dug out from the fridge our second Folklore Brewing and Meadery beer, crafted in Dothan, Alabama since 2013. And this is the Shadowcaster Porter, a rich chocolate coffee porter, it says on the... And I'll be honest, like, the only porter I think I've ever had was when we had that rail yard porter. I've never really drank porters.
I don't think I have either. What's the fort near here? Fort...
Rucker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They that's what they say on this is like shout out to Fort Rucker and the...
Well, it's got the helicopter.
or whatever,
yeah. I got a club brother who was a helicopter mechanic on Rucker.
Bud was... Well, not on Rucker.
Yeah, but yeah, he did.
Oh, did he go down there?
No, not to Rucker, but he was a helicopter. Yeah. Okay. I definitely taste the chocolate.
Oh, that's interesting.
The little bit that's like caught in the lip of the can looks like Yoo-hoo.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's a little sweet. It's not...
I don't know how I feel about it. I'm going to drink more of it, of course, but
yeah,
this is not typically what I go for in a beer. I don't think.
Here's the thing.
But,
oh my lord, this is dangerous. Because this is like, hey, this is what I want out of a cold coffee.
Yeah, well, I've never had coffee, so...
Yeah, I like coffee, and I like black coffee. This is bitter, because it's a beer, and it's got coffee and chocolatey flavor in it.
Yeah.
And it's alcoholic. Yeah. This could be bad.
Yeah.
But I'm in. This is pretty good. Okay.
I like it.
Interesting.
All right. So... This is a short read tall glass episode, and we've been doing our tall glass. So let's tackle the short read.
Okay.
This week it's Are You Afflicted with Dragons by Kage Baker. And just a quick little thing about Kage Baker. She died in 2010 of cancer. But she wrote a lot of short stories. But she also wrote a number of novellas and novels. She got nominated for some awards. I think she won a Nebula. Cool thing about her, she was involved in theater before she became like a full-time writer. And she taught Elizabethan English as a second language.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that. But I think this is probably the first thing. I looked over her like bibliography and I didn't see anything I'd read. But I really liked the story, so I'm gonna have to check her out. So let's dive right in. I liked it.
I liked it. It was solid. We generally have different tastes. I like a more stylized prose.
Yeah.
Which I didn't get in this, but the story was very straightforward and simple and contained and interesting. So I liked it. It just wasn't flowery or anything.
Yeah, but I think that kind of fits to a degree
to the story.
Yeah. Because the
very matter of fact, it's like these are just vermin. We're just trying to get them go.
No, they're wormin.
Yeah,
which I liked. Which I liked.
You did.
But also, it's like I like stories that take magical and fantasy
and
to its like
mundane.
And also like take it to its logical end kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like if magic was around today, kind of how it would be treated to a degree. How magic would be treated if it had been around for the past few hundreds of years as a everyday, ready, matter of fact aspect of life, and just the way that little dragons are vermin. Just okay, oh, you're gonna buy some rat poison? Well, here, have a little statue of this minor god. Comes to the prayer, He goes home and starts building a little shrine to put it in. And it's like, oh, it's just a minor god of banishment. It's just like little.
It's a little bonus for spending money.
Yeah, and just it's how matter of fact it all is.
Yeah,
and I really enjoyed that.
I thought it was really fitting, just because it wasn't even. Which is kind of weird, because a lot of the stories you read in fantasy treat dragons like they're real special, and there's very few of them. They're just like, get those fucking things out of here.
Yeah, they're pigeons, basically.
Yeah, basically.
A pigeon-rat hybrid.
With, what was it, fucking acid poop or something like that? It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, acidic shit. Yeah. No, I enjoyed it. My favorite line was the final line, and where it makes them smarter too, and I just love, because that
was mine too.
Yeah, initially, I can't remember the guy's name. It was some ridiculous Turn Crank Gobble Smite, or
I'll look for it.
His last name was something like Turn Crank or Turn Lever or something. I think
Crank Handle.
What was his first name?
I don't remember.
Some crank handle. Anyway, and when at first you kind of want to root for this guy, and the more he keeps talking, the more you like, well, damn, I kind of don't like this guy now. Not enough to actively greatly dislike him, but enough dislike that when the final line comes, you're like, fuck yeah.
Ettering Crank Handle.
But yeah, it engendered just enough distaste that when he got eaten by the dragons, I was like, justice.
I didn't get that.
Yeah?
It wasn't justice, it was just me going...
Well, not necessarily justice.
It was me going, what a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was the kind of, nothing he did was wrong necessarily. It was just that's kind of shitty.
It didn't exactly come up. He was technically correct. He was that kind of guy. He's like, okay, yeah, man. I remember there was I'm big on pro revenge on Reddit, but there was a guy on there who was basically the title was yeah, I get it. You have the legal right to do what you're doing, but maybe you don't be a dick to get by in civil society, kind of deal. And it's kind of like this guy's okay, man, yes, that's what we agreed to. I completely understand. Yes, you agreed to take all this. Yes, you are doing it for free. But could you cut me a little slack? And even then, if he's okay, fair trade for a meal, just the way he kind of abused the free meal. Oh, I'm not taking a slice of pound cake. Or fruit cake. I'm taking the whole fruit. And again, he had the right to do that. Yes, every step of the way, this guy had agreed to the terms, know. And I get that. But there is kind of I feel like society runs better with a little live and let live kind of deal. And this guy was kind of using it to his advantage. Which, he's the one who trained the dragon. I get it, yada, yada, yada. But it was just, he was kind of a dick.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's I didn't really mind him doing that because, the guy wasn't even getting upset about it. He was yeah, whatever. I mean...
Yeah.
If he had said no to the meal for that, I'd be oh, what a dick.
Yeah.
That's shitty. But, it changed for okay, well, I mean, you did agree to it, whatever.
Yeah.
But then when he did, that doesn't mean that I'm not
oh, yeah.
when he gets killed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I didn't, I understood his plan and everything, but I was sitting there going, look, dude, they're animals. Eventually it's going to be you can't. And then he died. I was oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So he got what he deserved, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but it's also, it's not even necessarily he got what he deserved. It's you knew the risk you were taking living this life.
Yeah.
Probably, especially since they were you've been making a lot of money off this. Shouldn't you call it quits?
Yeah.
And he's oh, I don't have enough money yet. I'm
but I think the moral here is pride goeth before the fall kind of deal. He was so convinced of how awesome he was that he's the one who did oh man, I know these better than anything. You know, I created this, I created that, yada yada yada. You know, and it's like, okay, cool, yeah, you did do all these things, but then it's like he has his apprentice that he doesn't like quite abuse, but it's like he's very clearly he's just using the apprentice to do the shit work and is never going. The whole point of having an apprentice is you train him to do your job, you know, and he makes it clear he's never going to teach the apprentice how to make the special food or anything like that. And you know, he's like talked. Oh, he actually treats the dragons well. You know, like, you know, you can't do that in this kind of job. You know, you got to. And it's like it makes you wonder. Like, of course, obviously the death happens off scene, but it kind of makes you wonder if maybe he'd been a little nicer to his apprentice, had kind of included him in a little bit more, had been a little less greedy, been filled with a little less hubris, if maybe he would have lived, kind of deal. You know, obviously we don't know how he died, but like, you just can't help but wonder if maybe he had gotten an apprentice he had planned to include in, you know, actually make a partner to some degree, if maybe he might not have lived somehow. I don't know, just something that a thought I had.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no way to know, but
yeah. I don't know. All in all, I thought it was pretty interesting. I never thought of the idea of dragons as pigeons for all intents and purposes, just because they're in most stories they're so rare.
Yeah,
like
and even like also like they not only are they rare, they're typically smarter than everyone else.
Yeah.
They're
old as all hell.
Yeah, they're utter badasses.
Usually, you have very few children.
Yeah, and these it's like, oh well, there's fuck tons of them. And I do wonder, like the shopkeep or the innkeeper, hotel owner, Smith by the Sea.
So many Smiths, man.
Yeah,
so many Smiths.
Smith by the Sea. I do wonder, like, you know, he says kind of like offhandedly, he wondered if maybe this guy brought the dragons with him.
Yeah, that was the only thing that had me going like,
I wonder.
Because before I was like, he's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
But that's, and the way they reacted to him made me think that it wasn't.
Well, yeah, because the first time I read it, you know, I just did my kind of cursory read. The second time I was doing a much deeper read. And I got to thinking about it, was like, they basically lick a little bit of this shit off of the one dragon's face, and then all of them each fly into their own individual cage. And it just, that kind of came across a little bit as maybe they had been trained.
Yeah.
So maybe, you know, again,
I had thought that the first time, but I didn't catch the individual cage. Because he said they put down cages. I just assumed he put down like bigger cages. But again, I'm sick. I was reading it in bed.
I'm pretty sure it makes reference to like they each fly into a cage.
Okay.
And so, and he talks about like, oh, you know, you can't feed them too much or they'll ruin the cages. You know, they'll outgrow the cages.
Yeah.
Well, if that's like, why, if you've caught them, why do you keep feeding them this stuff while they're still in the cages? You know, just feed them regular.
Because you got to make them big enough to carry away the important stuff when they go out into the wilderness, is what he said.
Well, yeah, but I just figured you could do that once you kind of turn them loose. Maybe. I don't know. Overthinking this a little bit here.
I thought it was a... You know how I am with short stories. I'm still not the biggest fan of them, but like, this was a self-contained story. Everything got said. Told a short little thing. There was no. I would have enjoyed some more fancy prose.
Yeah.
But it worked for what it was because of the things we discussed earlier.
Yeah.
So I was fine with it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good fun read.
It was just a short, enjoyable read. It wasn't too long. That was the thing I liked about it the most, is because it wasn't.
It was like 4,000 words, I think.
It was 5.5 or something like that. But I just like it because if it's longer than that, I want a little flourish. And I don't mind there being no flourish because it was a pretty short, self-contained like thing.
Yeah.
If I had to read that a long time, I'd eventually be like, this is kind of give me something to work with.
Yeah.
but it's not really needed for this short little thing. So I enjoyed it. I liked that his wife was a really good cook.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I do like descriptions of food and stuff like that, as long as they don't get excessive. After a while, like reading Redwall novels, you kind of start tuning shit out.
Yeah.
Because, especially on read-throughs. But I do like descriptions of food in fiction.
Reading like the first 3 Wheel of Time books, when I read them the first time, I ate so much beef stew because like they spend a lot of time cold with no money, nothing, and then they get to a inn and they're so happy and they spend what little money they have to get some kind of food, and it's always like a soup or a stew, and I'm just like, that sounds amazing, and then I eat beef stew and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So
I like it. Yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, just that I enjoyed it and that dragons are pigeons.
Basically. I'm not sure what story we're going to do next. Haven't picked it yet. I got a couple options. I'm going to try, though, I think, and see if the short story that just won the Hugo, if it's posted online for free anywhere. Mm-hmm. I don't know who published it, but like if Clark's World published it, or maybe Apex. I think Apex posts their stuff. Maybe if it got posted in one of these places, we can tackle that one. It won a Hugo. Yeah. Should be pretty fucking good.
It'll be hilarious because I'll be like, "This is crap," and then
probably
look at me like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. But yeah, I am off to Dragon Con in the morning. I'll try and do a live footage thing for YouTube at some point. Dragon Con always gets real shitty with internet service because there's 70,000 people in like 3-block area all trying to use their cell phones, so it gets a little sketchy. But when I'm in the room on Wi-Fi, I may try and do some shots, upload a video. I am planning on hitting up some like writing panels and stuff like that. So, and there's actually a panel on the history of cocktails that I'm going to try and hit up, but it's also at the same time as a party. So we'll see what wins out. But yeah, no viewer mail this week. Everyone hates us. It's fine. No big deal.
Everyone was getting ready for Dragon Con.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. But we had some really awesome viewer mail last week, so, I forgive y'all. But yeah, as always, email us at bookspiritsbooze@gmail.com. Would really love to hear from you. And you can find anything you want to know about the podcast or about Tales by Bob at anything Tales by Bob. Hit it up, you'll reach me, and we'll chat. And as always, I challenge you as the week goes on that you go forth and grow a great beard.